Whenever she used the feeder, she'll just take this insert off, put the auto feeder on. This is really important for ProStar lids. You can have them cut to size like this. There's a video that Devin did of it, and it came out really, really nice for this client. Hey guys, this is Tyler with Top Lids, and this is one of the most excited I've ever been to show a new tank. So this is a Pro Clear tank. It's a Peninsula version 200. It's a 5-foot long tank. And this tank is actually what started Top Lids. It's actually the tank that started our whole company, basically. And there was I used to sell these tanks long time ago, many years ago. And there was a client, I won't say his name, but there was a client who had this tank. He was waiting for it for a really long time. And he had a very, very expensive wrasse fish. It was a fairy wrasse. It was like really flashy one. And it was a lot of money. And he expected the tank to come in at a certain time, and it didn't, and he had to wait for it. And so he had to wait many, many months for this fairy wrasse that he really, really wanted to get in this really nice Peninsula tank. It's like really clear Peninsula tank. And, you know, he puts it in day one finally, like 6-9 months later after he orders the tank. And the next day he comes out and the fish is on the ground and it's dead because it jumped. So that's kind of what started us on this journey of, you know, why doesn't a professional, really sleek, clean, and customizable version of an aquarium lid exists on the market, and, you know, can we make one? So this tank's really special to us, and I'm really, really happy that I can be here to kind of show you guys a design for it. This is what it looks like. This is basically our luxury lid style. It comes in a fusion vent frame design, which looks just like this. You have support bracing around the outside, and that means that you don't need a center brace. So it's just a nice open screen center, doesn't block any light, just goes right through. And it's also a 2-piece lid because this tank is 5 foot long. So it's better if you need to access part of the tank, like this far side over here, if there's a coral you need to reach, or if there's a fish that you want to spot feed or something like that. Instead of taking a whole big giant 5-foot lid off, you can just pick this up just like this. There's cord in the way. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. So you can just pick it up like this, move it over to this side, place it down, and then you have full access to the side of the tank right here. And then whenever you're done, again, just pick it up, slide it, and just put it right back down like that again. Right, towards a little chunk. But yeah, 2-piece lids are really useful for larger tanks that's, you know, it'd be kind of hard to have a 1-piece lid for. They just make it more accessible, and you don't have to take the lid off and put it somewhere, right? Then, of course, we have feed doors. This client only wanted 2 feed doors on this far side, so we did them just like this. They're nice and screened, no condensation, very easy to grab, just in the middle with your 3 fingers like this. And then they do sit down inside the lid, so if I try to move this, it won't fall off. And you'll also notice that whenever I lifted the lid, they also don't fall off. So that's something with kind of other lids out there, is that when you lift the lids off, sometimes it kind of pieces go everywhere. So ours, it's recessed down inside the lid. And if you come over this way, on the far end, this client has a very unique auto feeder that, you know, she needed a spot for it. And so we made her this little opening like this that has a solid insert for it. And whenever she's using the feeder, we'll kind of have some video on screen of that now. Whenever she used the feeder, she'll just take this insert off, put the auto feeder on. The auto feeder will start feeding through the slot. And then whenever she's done, she can just sit the insert down in there just like that, and it'll cover the cutout. This is also, again, whenever I take the lid off, this is recessed down inside, so it's not gonna fall off, right? You can move it around, and it'll stay in place nice and flat like that. And then if you wanna come around, we're gonna go all the way to the other side to the Overflow Box. This is really important for ProStar lids because a lot of times these specific tanks, the ProStar line of tanks, the overflow will be a little bit off center sometimes because their overflows are actually installed by hand. There's a lot of care that's taken into it, and they're installed by hand, which means that sometimes there can be some variation. So this client was okay with measuring the overflow. We also have some standard measurements if you're okay with having a little bit more wiggle room on the lid, but this client wanted a really tight fitting, precise lid, so she went ahead and measured for it, and we put the overflow cutout in the exact same spot. So if she wants to access the overflow, she can basically just take this off like this. You have full access to the overflow box. do what you need to do. And then when you're ready to put it back on again, you kind of just lift the lid a little bit, slide it back into place, and then it sits down back in place like that. So all in all, this was a really fun project to do. And the last thing I'll mention is actually just something kind of cool about these Peninsula tanks. That this light bar was actually a recommendation by Devin at Reef Dudes. For Peninsula tanks, lights are kind of, this challenge because if you use traditional lighting fixtures that aquariums come with, you'll have this big long light bar and then this big giant light mount that mount to this far end, and this is supposed to be the end that's really clean. You don't have anything blocking that look. So with this, it just basically stands out in space. I forget what this is called, but it's basically just some aluminum framing pieces, and you can have them cut to size like this. There's a video that Devin did of it, and it came out really, really nice for this client. I was like very impressed when I saw it actually. So for Peninsula tanks, this is definitely the ideal solution for lights. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this ProClear 200. So it was really fun to show you guys, and it's really cool to kind of take a trip back on memory lane and remember this exact tank that kind of started the whole shebang here. So if you want to get in touch with us, if you have like a Peninsula tank like this one from ProClear, or any other type of Peninsula tank, or pretty much any other aquarium, we do lids for any aquarium that exists. You can go to toplids.com. There should be some stuff on screen now kind of showing how you can interact with us, like live chat. We also have a phone number at the top of the website. You can reach out to us, and we would love to chat with you and talk with you soon.